close that fight. He really, the man he was fighting was tough. He was
where'd my
tough.
phone go?
And didn't expect that same fight, but he oftentimes will. He makes people suffer. There's no question about it. No, he's a pro. He's a professional.
Yeah, he's all heart. He's from Louisiana. That's where I'm from.
As that fight went along, he just got stronger and stronger, and he was getting pounded, and he was going to be choked out about 4 different times, and he just wouldn't let it happen. No, you say hello to him. He's good.
Yeah, I'll make sure to.
He's a really great fighter. There
and he cooks Thanksgiving dinner every year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have to go sometime.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
he must do good food.
He does, yeah. He does some good stuff over there. Yeah, what was the first? Do you remember like the first fight that you ever went to, whether it was UFC or boxing or anything?
Yeah, I do. It was Joe Frazier,
1, 2, 3. Testing,
Muhammad
testing,
Ali
1, 2, 3.
in Madison Square Garden many years ago.
Okay, so we can turn.
And I think that was the first fight I went to. I always liked the boxing.
How old were you? Remember?
Oh boy, I don't know. You can deduct it from what I am now, but it was a long time ago. But they were 2 undefeated fighters. They were both undefeated. Muhammad became a friend of mine. So did Joe, Jolton Joe. He was. They were 2 great fighters. That fight was incredible. I think they had like many heart attacks that night. Literally heart attacks in Madison Square Garden. I think it was Madison Square Garden. And the fight was so unbelievable. 2 undefeated heavyweight champions of the world. There was no UFC and there was no competition really. It was it.
Yeah.
And so you had 2 guys. I remember that Muhammad wasn't allowed to fight because of lots of different things. And he was a terrific guy. Both terrific guys. Very different.
And they finally made it happen. They finally made that bout happen.
They had 2 undefeated heavyweight champions fighting.
And who took you to the fight? You remember?
I went with my father and my brother Robert. And it was just, I don't know, I must have been very young. It was a long time ago, but you would never forget it. That was one of those moments.
Oh, yeah.
But no, literally, there were like many heart attacks in the arena.
Is people having too much fun, or what do you
they
think?
were
It was
just
drugs?
having heart attacks because it was such a crazy event.
Oh, yeah.
It was so, people were just, I know a friend of mine, the father, he had a bad heart attack. Literally, they took him out. They were taking people out.
It's an early KO.
And I don't hear that anymore. I mean, there were other exciting sporting events. I don't think there's ever been.
I love
I don't know. I guess there has, but you would think Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, their first fight, but it was a very exciting time.
Well, yeah, and just people being, I guess, yeah, sometimes our systems aren't ready to handle the amount of excitement that's going on, you know? Like, I think, like, yeah, maybe people just couldn't even handle so much joy. You think it was that people were just so excited.
They had heart attacks. I mean, they just had, I guess they do it. Maybe Super Bowls or something.
Oh, people have heart attacks eating a thick soup, you know? So it's like, I'm not surprised that something so
if you have heart
awesome
attacks
like that would make
drinking
your
a
heart
thick
be like,
soup.
yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, but I never hear of it, you know, and I'm sure
Anymore.
it happens. Just that one. But we had an exciting
I
event
love
the other
Elon.
night with Elon Musk and me.
I'll listen.
We had a pretty big audience for that one, I can tell you.
Yeah, I listened for probably about like 20 minutes. I thought it was cool. It was. I think the tough part was just like it would have been neat if you guys could have been in the same spot, you know. But I still thought it was exceptional.
I heard the audio was great, and actually they put out a clear tape of it because they had clear tape.
Oh, nice.
They had so many millions and millions of people watching, like record numbers of people. And I'm trying to figure out, we're on a cell phone, or I was, and, you know, that's a lot of people coming into a cell phone one way or the other.
Yeah.
But I heard some people had a problem with the audio. I don't know. I don't do that thing. You know, that was done, and we had a great conversation. It was for 2 hours and 15 minutes. They just put out a clear tape of it, a perfect tape of it. But yeah, I sounded, I think I sounded, somebody said your voice was distorted or something. And you know, I guess it happens. Look, it was such a big thing, such a big audience, but I would have loved to have seen the clear tape originally. They put it out right after the show, so now it's a clear tape where a perfect tape done there.
Yeah.
But when it goes through different phone systems and everything else, you think if we were together, that doesn't happen then? Because I think his voice was more clear than
maybe because he was the one who was like initiating the call. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure about how all that works. But yeah, I know that in post a lot of times they can tighten things up and make it better. You know, it's amazing how Elon, like, the cost to really have your own voice in the world is $44 billion basically.
Well,
If you
Right.
want to have your voice, like, you know what I'm saying? He has his own channel.
And he does what he wants to do.
Yeah.
And he's a fantastic guy. And he's a brilliant person. And the country should be very proud of him, actually. I have Truth, which has been very successful.
True Social, you mean?
True Social, yeah. And that's been very
So I need
successful
three
in getting my
pieces to
voice
pierce
out. I needed a voice. Because, I was on Twitter and I was on Instagram. I was on all of it. And I was on Facebook.
They took them off everything.
And when you
So
added it
oh.
up, I had
Oh, nice. I, seen
I
three of
was
these.
told by Zuckerberg and others it was like record-setting type of numbers. And then one day I didn't have anything because they canceled. I mean, they canceled.
There's such a collusion there, right?
Yeah, it was a pretty bad thing. And so I had nothing. So after about a month, I have a lot of things to say. And after about a month, I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just go out and put out an old public relations statement. You remember that? And although you're a little young to see it, but in the old days, you'd put out a statement. And I did, and it was just gobbled up. It was really gobbled up. And I opened Truth, and Truth has become terrific, actually, for
Good
me.
platform.
I really want just as a platform. I mean, it's more important than anything else. And
At least
and
you have
that's
your
been-
voice then. You can say
well,
what you
it
want
gave
to
me
say.
my voice back, yeah. I had hundreds of millions of people. Even now, I haven't been too active on X, but I have, I guess, 90-some-odd million people on it. But I was much higher than that when I was
It's like
actually
almost
on
all
it.
the people. I don't even know how many people there are.
Yeah, it's been, but I love the job he's done, and he's brought a certain voice back into play.
Yeah.
The previous people were terrible.
Yeah.
Every time you do a thing, you'd be red flagged. They'd put
Oh,
up
yeah,
a red
there's
flag.
every-
Every
yeah.
statement you made, you'd be red flagged.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's like when you have a babysitter and only one had it.
Yeah.
Kind of a vibe like that. When you, because I see you at the fights. I see you sometimes I sit right by Dana, and sometimes I'll sit, I'll go with like David Spade sometimes as a close to the line. And, I'll see you come in with Kid Rock, and, and you don't drink at the fights. You
By the
don't,
way, Kid Rock is he's terrific. He came to the convention. He knocked everybody out. He's a great guy. He's just a great guy. He's popular, very popular.
Oh, he's a real dirt serpent too, dude.
Yeah,
He's a freaking legend,
He is a legend,
Yeah.
I guess, in a true sense.
Oh, 100%. People love him, dude. Look at him. I went to his show not long ago somewhere, and people, I think some guy had a heart attack there too, but it was like funnel cake related, I think, type of vibes.
He draws big crowds, actually. It's
I never
amazing.
listened to the Theo Von interview till now, so it's kind of funny. I heard they had a pretty funny on conversation.
He's
It's like
he's
the
big
economy was
stuff, but
thriving.
he's really
It's like,
forget
yeah,
about that.
my cousin
They call
bought a
him
boat.
Bob, Kid Rock, but he's
That's
Bob.
too good.
But he's a really good.
Yeah, I've been over to his house
He's a
a
cool
bunch.
cat, right?
Oh yeah, I live in natural.
Tall
right,
truck,
like,
he's a cool
uh,
cat, right?
anytime
I did not see anything. There's nothing.
Yeah, he hit me up one night and was like, "Hey man, I'm having a birthday party this week, and you should come." And I didn't even know him, and it was nice. And since then, we've done a lot of fun stuff together. His brother's missing a leg too,
Yeah,
which is
his
crazy. It looks like the lamp. Have you ever seen that movie, The Lamp, like from like Christmas Story or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's fantastic. The family, the father, I knew very well. He just passed away. And it was tough.
Oh, you knew his dad?
For the brother, I did. And he was fantastic. I got to know him through knowing Bob. And I tell you what, it's just a fantastic family, the whole family.
No, I love Bob. He and I joke around together a lot. We've spent a lot of time together. Look at his brother right there.
That's right.
Dude,
And you know what? He
very
plays
cool.
golf and he plays well. He hit a perfect drive with me. I said, "Do you play?" We were in the 17th hole. I said, "Do you play?" He goes, "Yes." I said, "Oh, really? You want to hit a shot?" And he said, "Okay." And he got up. It was very hard for him to get the- I mean, it was really
Oh,
a tough
man,
situation.
Zach, what's up,
He
dude?
has to get the ball in the ground and
happening?
see and everything else. Nobody did
Appreciate the
it.
follow, brother.
And he did it.
You're
He goes
listening
to
to
the
the
ground, he
Theo
did it.
Von
What's
Donald
that?
Trump interview.
He swung.
I haven't listened to it yet.
And I'm a good
It's
golfer.
pretty
He
fucking
hit a
funny, honestly.
perfect shot. Out to the right with a little hook. Nobody knows what that means in your audience probably, but that's like a perfect shot. And I said, "That is perfect." He said, "I'll do it again." I said, "Don't do it again because you'll never be able to hit a shot that good." And it was really amazing. He's great. And Bob really. They love the family.
Yeah, they're
They
great.
really have an amazing family.
Oh,
They
no,
love
Bob's great. I've been to parties at his house. You know, one thing that's really nice about
I guess
him
there was no
is
ion
I'll go
particles.
do
Yeah,
something
hey,
with
seriously,
him,
thanks for
and
the
then
follow,
a
man.
few
Appreciate
days
your
later, he'll
shit.
send a nice note. He'll send like a photo, like a frame photo, and just say, hey man, I had a nice time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed at the events you don't drink, and you don't drink or smoke, right?
I don't drink or smoke.
You never have.
No, I never have. I had a great brother who taught me a lesson. Don't drink. Don't drink. And he said, don't smoke. You smoke when you drink. And he was a great guy. He was a handsome, very handsome guy.
Was he older? He was older.
Quite a bit older. And he had a problem with alcohol and smoke a lot. And I tell people, no drugs, no drinking, no cigarettes.
Yeah.
I tell that to my kids all the time. I'd say no
What is
drugs, no
this?
drinking, no
Okay.
smoke. And
That was
he had, well, he'd always tell me, he'd say never. So he was, really old enough that you would look up to somebody, and I'd look up to him anyway.
Did you admire him?
Yeah, I admired so much about him. He had so much going. He had the look. He had
What was his name?
unbelievable
Second to
personality, like an incredible personality.
What was his name, Donald?
His name was Fred Trump. And he had a problem with alcohol. He got addicted to it because they say alcohol is tougher than drugs to get off of. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
I'm in recovery, actually. I've been in recovery, so like most of the last 10 years.
From alcohol?
From drugs and alcohol.
So which is worse?
For me, drugs is the problem, but if I have a drink, then I prevent myself from getting
It sets you up a chain. But which is harder to quit? I've heard alcohol is harder to quit than drugs, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can only imagine because it's probably more readily available.
More readily, well, and it's social, and you're sitting and everyone's drinking and all.
Yeah,
Because
rarely do you
nowadays
go to a
everyone's taking
dinner and
drugs.
everybody's eating, like, Xanax or something, for appetizers. Usually people are having, like, a mint julep or something a little fancier than Negroni, I was thinking.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So you have a problem with that, then?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's been in my family, it's like, yeah.
Can
it's
you
tough.
stay away from it?
Yeah, I've done a good job. I mean,
So how long have you been off?
I go to recovery meetings. I've been off most recently a little over 2 years.
Do you ever go back on?
Yeah, I've had stints where I go back on and
And you don't control it?
it's tough. It goes down.
No
pretty quick.
kidding. So you
think it's gonna be
you
easy.
think you're controlling it?
And then you're damn. Yeah, you're doing with go-kart and racing with hookers and stuff gets bad. Right. So then in the end, you're like, I have to not do it.
What up,
Did
Brady?
you see with your brother? Could you see it or anything?
Oh, yeah. Another shirt my daughter picked out for me. It's like yellowish pink, so
I think he probably.
I used to do some shirtless streams. It's just definitely a little pudgier now. So I mean, I don't care, but just a little pudgier now. So I'm like,
This is not unique. This is a very common story, unfortunately. But and then the family would see it and start to notice it, and
my hairless ripped body
get
will,
better.
or hairless,
It didn't
my
get better. I was
hairy ripped
amazed,
body will.
He lived
It'll be back in the future
so
for
long
sure.
in
So I
bad
mean,
condition.
that's
too.
more than reason
I
enough.
was amazed
to
that
say
his
if you
body could hold on. It held out. And he'd have bad moments. But his body was unbelievably strong that it could withstand this.
Yeah, it's a body. Why is it so resilient?
Yeah.
Do you remember the last
early
time
on
you
that?
saw him or spent with him?
I do, and
I'm sorry to ask you about it. Is it all right?
no, it's well,
Petition, yeah, hey.
the reason it's good talking.
I mean,
about
regardless,
it
you only need the petition. It'll be back. It
If
just
it
depends
helps
on the
one
time
other
frame.
person, it's worth the conversation.
We talk about that stuff a lot on our podcast.
Yeah.
Just went for a nice long run with my dog, so you know,
I
it works.
struggle with alcoholism, addiction, intimacy disorders, all types of stuff.
You say intimacy disorders?
Pretty kind of normal conversation, but
The interesting thing is, and I tell people, so I never had a cigarette, and I've never had a glass of alcohol. And my brother was incredible. He would tell me, because he knew I had a problem, and he'd say, don't ever drink, don't ever smoke. He'd always add smoking, because he did smoke a lot, which is not very healthy. But he'd say,
Drop
don't
it?
ever drink, don't ever drink. He'd tell me every time I
We
should
didn't drop it.
because he knew he had this addiction, and I never had a glass of alcohol. Never ever did I have a glass of alcohol because of him. And I would say that if I did drink, I could conceivably be the type of personality that would have, like you, that would have a problem.
No drop.
But I never had. And the only thing I say to people is, if too late for the people that you're talking about. But if you don't drink, you don't miss it. I mean, I don't. think about alcohol.
Right, it's not a part of your
I
world.
don't think about cigarettes. I don't think about any of that. If you don't take drugs or if you don't have alcohol, it's real easy not to drink it. It's I had a friend who went to the Wharton School of Finance with me. He was a very smart guy.
Where is it, Wharton School?
That's in Philadelphia. That's
Rocky.
Well, it's a great school, great business school, and part of the University of Pennsylvania, the business school.
It's nice down there.
Yeah.
My friend's brother went there or something.
Well,
We ate near there
then he
once.
was smart
We ate
because
near
it's a
there
great school. And but this person that I met, he hated the taste of scotch. He hated it, couldn't stand it, but he insisted on having it because he felt it was important to be able to drink. I said, just don't drink. He said, to be successful in business, you have to sort of interact and you have to do it. And I said, don't do it. Anyway, he became an unbelievable alcoholic, uncontrollable alcoholic.
Oh, I think
and
you're like one
he
of the
died.
best.
Yeah, and he died. He was but he hated the taste of scotch,
And he still
and then
did
he
it.
couldn't live without it, literally.
Well, I think I notice a lot of, like, in the recovery rooms and stuff, it's a lot of people that they're missing something inside of
Yeah.
them, and so they
Could be.
take on, like, so they want to try and fill it up with something else. Do you remember the last time you spoke with your brother?
I do, and he'd have periods where he'd get sick, very sick, and we thought we'd lose him or we lost him. Then he'd get better. And that happened 5 or 6 times. And then you thought you lost him, and then he got better. And it was amazing. I mean, he was, certainly very strong in that sense. And
Dude,
I just tell people,
What the hey?
it's so tragic. Don't drink. Just don't drink.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have a problem. Like even you, if you didn't drink, you would never, you probably maybe wouldn't be successful like you are. That's part of your story,
It's
right?
helped me a lot. Yeah, because I don't know what would happen. It's just too risky. What's something that you miss about him, or like that? What's something that you miss about him?
And he was wise in a sense. I mean, think of it. He's got this problem, and it was very important for him to
Yeah, it's
convey
nice
to me
seeing
not
you.
to have this problem.
have fun lurking, Brett
And I
Steve.
couldn't have been successful if I had that problem. If I had that
Have a
problem,
great night. If you stop in to say what's up, I'll probably be live for a little bit. 'Cause, I mean, I am off
if I
tomorrow.
drank. If you don't drink, you're never gonna have it. I mean, I don't miss when I see somebody light up a cigarette and just they're in heaven. I don't miss that at all.
It's weird. It's very native.
Isn't it? Isn't it
The,
crazy?
Bizarre. And I think sometimes our older brothers, they kind of like they take the speed bumps for us, like as younger brothers, so that we don't have to. You know what I'm saying? Is that you know what I'm talking about? Like my brother went through a lot of stuff so that I didn't have to go through it, and then I get to see him and learn.
Is he okay now?
Yeah, he's doing great now. But it's like, yeah, that's one of the blessings I think of having an older brother.
Well, you can learn through history too, whether even if it's not a brother, it's by watching other people. I mean, you can see if you have a friend who's an alcoholic, or even just by reading about people, you can learn. It doesn't necessarily have to be a brother, but in this case, it was very personal. It was a brother, and I learned not to drink, and I learned not to smoke cigarettes. Now, I don't know that I would have smoked cigarettes. I probably would have drank. I think, there's no reason not to drink, but I had a reason because he told me, just
That was it.
don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a blessing then, huh?
Yeah.
And where did you guys ever do anything fun together, like one nice memory that you have with him?
He had a great talent for flying. He was a
What's up,
pilot,
Yuna?
Sweet.
and he loved
What's up,
it.
Pup
Did you
Pup?
ever fly with him?
I did. I flew with him. He was a great pilot and very talented. Other pilots would come to his house to study with him, and he was really talented. But ultimately, he had to give that because of the alcohol. He had to give that up, which was a hard thing for him to do, but he had to give that up.
Wait, what?
Election Day is coming up on November 5th, and there's this really cool website, sendthevote.com, that makes it easy to register to vote. It's nonpartisan, which means they don't care who you're voting for. They just want to make sure you can vote. Head over to sendthevote.com. They'll help you sign up, register, and even check if you're good to go. I'll drop a link in the podcast description. Let's all get out there and cast our votes this November. Again, that is sendthevote.com. sendthevote.com. AI might be the most important new computer technology ever. It's storming every industry, and literally billions of dollars are being invested. So buckle up. The problem is that AI needs a lot of speed and processing power. So how do you compete with costs spiraling out of control? Well, it's time to upgrade to the next
Yo, what up,
generation on the cloud.
Jazarus?
Oracle
First
Cloud
time viewer, obviously a bot.
Infrastructure, or OCI. OCI is a single platform for your infrastructure, database, application
The bots
development,
are coming
and
in.
AI needs. OCI has 4 to 8
Shit, fuck,
times the
ball.
bandwidth of other clouds, offers one consistent price instead of variable regional pricing, and of course, nobody does data better than Oracle. So now you can train your AI models at twice the speed and less than half the cost of other clouds. If you want to do more and spend less, like Uber and Databricks Mosaic, take a free test drive of OCI at oracle.com/Theo. That's oracle.com/Theo. ORACLE.com/Theo. Yeah, it's crazy. That's the wildest thing to watch is people losing everything, you know?
No, they lose everything. Many people. And yet, in those days, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't like, don't drink, don't take drugs. I don't think drugs, I don't even know whether they're even a factor. They happened a long time ago. But I think in those days, I don't think were drugs a factor. You go back 25 years ago.
Not like it is now.
Well, certainly not like now.
Yeah, and that actually takes me into something else I wanted to talk about.
ahead.
Like alcoholism and addiction is something that's really ramped up, even like you're saying, like in the past 20, 30 years in our country, right? And during the opioid epidemic, they estimate that like almost 600,000 people died.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even include the broken hearts, the deaths of families, and circles of trust.
I mean, it's not
Just
wrong.
People that lost
Theo's
their brothers,
deep,
even
bro.
include the actual the siblings, you know. And so the ripple effect of that is huge. And there's that Sackler family that pretty much got away with it. You know, they had a financial slap on the wrist, but we're one of the only countries that allows drug advertisements and pharmaceutical companies to advertise on television. Like, what do you think are things that you can do to help curtail that when you get into office?
So, well, we did a great job. We had
Does that make sense or not?
yes,
that question?
it does make sense. And we had
Shit on this
committees,
fucking
blue ribbon
retarded
committees in certain cases, but committees that would meet. The big problem we have is, fentanyl is probably the biggest. Opioid is bad. Opioid is bad too.
Yeah.
I think that's bad because everyone thinks, in many cases, they think they're going to do away
Why
with
solos are so much better. Honestly, the First Descendant is more of a solo game than even in multiplayer.
weeks. You're almost addicted to it.
95% of the time.
Oh,
it's
the
solo.
whole, yeah, all of that is horrible.
Kids are
Why do
just
they
slow
allow that to
How did
No, I would just do cocaine. That was really, yeah. So not just
do a little cocaine.
And it was
that's down and dirty, right?
yeah. And this is I mean, it was
But you don't anymore?
now I don't do it anymore, man, and I'm not doing
Is
it.
it too much? Too much to handle?
Some of the stuff started to get a real rattle in it too. I don't know where you even getting it from in this
Get a little
country.
rattle.
Yes.
I heard that part, though. I have heard that part.
So the thing you go back to is alcohol.
Right, yeah, but what I want probably is cocaine, but I know that if I have a drink, then it'll be like, okay, well, I had a drink, then I can do this.
Is cocaine a stronger up?
Yeah.
So you're way up.
Cocaine's the best
cocaine
drop.
more than anything else. You
Far
can
enough.
do.
It'll turn you into a damn owl, homie. You know what I'm saying? You'll be out on your own porch, you know. You'll be your own street man. You're freaking.
And is that a good feeling?
Talking to the
It's
talking
a
to the
miserable feeling.
president.
You do it anyway, just like the guy you're saying with the sky. Like you knew it was bad. But you
So
still.
it's not even good during what would be normally the good time. In other words, oh well. So why would you do it?
I wouldn't. That's why I don't.
Yeah, that's
But it's crazy because that's what alcoholism is. I think it's that it trumps the why.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't. And it just you don't. And you just. It's like so. That's why they say that it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. That's what they say about alcoholism, and it is. It's
which is a bigger problem in our country, would you say?
opioids.
Yeah.
What, bigger than alcohol.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
that's one of the biggest
to be
problems.
honest though,
Compared
like
to
I would think
fentanyl.
a lot of people.
Oh yeah, well that's the problem is people are making fake opioids because they can't afford real ones, or they're just getting them off the street and then they put fentanyl in them.
Fentanyl's like laced into everything now. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Yeah, they found some in a baby rattle somewhere. I think I don't even know where that was. But one of the things I wanted to ask you was like, so there's like the big pharma lobbyists. Like there's 1,800 big pharma lobbyists in Washington D.C.
Right.
There's only 535 total representatives or senators total. So just the fact that there's this whole other almost drug government that's there kind of pushing pushing agendas and influencing things.
Nobody else is
Like,
in
how do
here.
we stop that, man? It just seems like it's obviously killing people. Like people are dying, you know? It's like, what do we have to do that our own government won't help us?
Well, you have to stop listening to lobbyists. You know, I was not a big person for lobbyists. And if they have even a little access to like a president or senator or a congressman or woman, they get a lot of money. And in some cases, they just take the money. They don't do anything. You have a lot of lobbyists in Washington pushing, and certainly a lot for all of the things that we're talking about,
But they're
including
winning.
alcohol.
The lobbyists are winning, it feels
Yeah, they're
like.
winning. They're making a lot of money.
Can,
Absolutely.
can you
Wait,
stop
what?
that? Can a president
Oh,
stop
that's
that?
proud. I was like,
how
what
do
the
we
fuck? Why is
stop that?
Well, one way you could stop it is to say if you're going to go into government,
Oh,
you can
you
never
know.
be a lobbyist. In many cases, they have rules and regulations where you can't do it for 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever.
You mean be a lobbyist after you were an elected official?
I mean, you could
that what you're saying?
You could say that if you're an elected official or if you work in government, you can never be a lobbyist. You have people that work in government and they give out contracts to the military, and then they leave and they work for the people that they're giving out contracts to.
That's exactly what happened with the Sackler family with the drug companies. They hired people that were on the FDA to work for them so they could loophole the laws.
Yeah,
Or,
that's,
you know. But can we
tragic.
outlaw lobbyists, or we can't do that?
Well, there's a whole constitutional thing there. I mean, can you make somebody never ever go into the business if you work for government, and especially if you're giving out contracts? In other words, you're a powerful person within some industry, the Navy, the Army, anything. It could be military procurement, etc. There's a whole thing like. The whole question is to give out a contract, and then all of a sudden you're working for the person you give out the contract to, or the company that you gave out the contract to.
Right, it's like you're playing both sides of the net.
Well, it's obviously a problem, and it's a big problem, and we were doing things about it, but then we had to get down to other business. We had to solve we had a lot of problems with this company. A lot of problems.
It's pretty clear that the establishment doesn't like you, I would say. What do you think?
Well, I think the people like me.
Oh, yeah, the
because
people.
We're leading now in all the polls. We're leading in Rasmussen just came out a little while. Rasmussen's a very highly regarded poll, and we're leading by 5 points. Rasmussen poll,
Haven't seen that.
and others also, and we're doing well. But I think the people like me a lot. You know,
I
we
agree.
won, and then we did.
No doubt.
So we won in 2016, and then we did much better in 2020. Much better. Got millions and millions more votes. And
Why does the establishment keep trying to sink you? Like, what is it that they are so afraid of?
in some cases, the things we're talking about right now, they want to sell product that I'm not interested in. They want to have certain boats and certain ships and certain planes and certain everything bought. Pharma is another one that's interesting.
Or do they push back against you think?
Yeah, I think they do. Well, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious that they do. In one way, that's a positive thing politically, because when you can show that they push back, the voters seem to like it. But we have a lot of popularity. We have a lot of people that want to see me come back and win, because we had a great time. We had the greatest economy in history when I was president. We had
Oh yeah, my cousin got a boat. Oh man.
My cousin got a
African-American,
boat.
Hispanic American, if you look, Asian American, job numbers, women, men, everybody. We did a lot of good things. We cut taxes more than anybody
Theo's
else,
freaking
including
cousin got a
Ronald Reagan.
boat.
We
Let's
cut
go.
regulations, which created jobs. We had a great period of time, and I think the people want it back. Based on what I'm seeing, the people want it back.
Man,
One
the
thing that you
viewership
did
today
recently, we had Bernie
so
Sanders
hot.
on,
Right.
and
Interesting.
I know
That's very interesting.
certainly, you guys don't agree on a lot of things, but I think you both acknowledge how horribly rigged the healthcare system is against the American people. Because hospitals and insurance companies get away with hiding their prices from all of us, and literally they can charge whatever they want. You know, it's like you sign up and say, yes, I'll pay. You trust the hospital, but then you get home and the bill is, it's whatever, you know, which pretty much feels like some form of extortion to me. That's what it seems like to me. But you had an executive order where you created a federal rule forcing hospitals and insurers to publish all their prices.
Yep.
Right? So that people would be able to know, okay, if an MRI costs $600 here and it's $5,000 there,
And
then
he's
I can
like
go
two
here
shot
and
at
save
me.
myself.
Oh my god.
But that hasn't even been enforced. Like hospitals,
Biden got away with it.
hospitals and insurance companies, they're still not showing their prices.
They hated it,
Of course they did.
and because it would have made it very competitive. And Biden let it go. He never enforced it, and to get that approved was a big deal, and that would have brought down the price of
So many things.
not only just care, right? Care, physical care, mental care. That would have brought down the cost of care by 50-60%. And Biden and Kamala didn't
Yo, what's up, guys?
press it. It was
Hey,
a
thank you
big
guys for
thing to
tuning
get
in.
it.
If you guys are watching
I'll be
on like
pressing it.
X,
And because I'll be
just
pressing
make sure you
it,
at least get a
and because I'll
Discord.
be
You can get
pressing
a
it, there are some
Discord
people that are
on
vehemently
Twitch. You can get
against it
exclamation
for
point
financial
Discord.
reasons,
Oh,
for
fuck
money
off.
reasons. But
Those
I'll be
people can go to
Man,
hell,
bro.
dude. That's insane.
Yeah, no.
But yeah,
it's-
exclamation point
bad
Discord and
people.
Twitch chat.
Especially
Get your
because one of the
Discord. Just make
leading
sure you DM me
causes
if you want to
of
be in the giveaways.
Bankruptcy in
Hey,
America
you guys shoot
is
me a
medical
DM or
debt.
something on Discord.
I
Make
mean,
sure you're
it's-
not a bot or anything like
That's
that.
crazy.
pretty
And I don't even think I
crazy.
made that up
Free
either.
stuff and
No,
free
it's,
money is free money.
when you
so
think of
no
it,
complaints there. And I'm
First when you
sucking
said it,
at
I said, wow. And then I'm thinking about it. I said, it's really
today.
not a wow. I understand
My
it.
reaction times. slower than your
Tremendous
grandma's,
lobby,
bro.
tremendous powerful lobby.
Yeah, because I mean, think about
Sheesh.
what else is going to put you in medical, like in that much of a debt. It's like, I believe that's accurate. Who's behind the healthcare, insurance, that whole thing? Like, who's behind it all? It feels like Chuck Schumer is this kind of like deviant mastermind back there somewhere.
Well, he's one of the people that is hurt, and he's one of the people that keeps the prices high. And he's, gets a lot of contributions from the people on the other side. And him and plenty of other people, a lot of people. It's a very powerful lobby.
But wouldn't they? Why
You know
do
the
they
most
want
powerful
people?
lobby? The lawyer lobby.
That's
And that feeds into that also. It all feeds into it.
One clip.
Just so I understand, Don. I'm sorry. So that lobby is a very powerful.
Yeah.
But why do those people want people to suffer though? Just so they can make money?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It really has to do with money.
That's crazy. How much money do
They
they
probably
need?
start
Can't we
off by
just
saying
give them?
this is terrible, and then they eventually say, well.
But
and
can
then-
we just, as a country, say, hey, how much? Okay, you need $3 million. We'll give you that. Fuck off.
Yeah.
We want to be healthy.
Yeah.
Like, can't we make a deal with those people?
They're very tough to deal with, and they've been taken care of by drug companies and others for years. You have politicians that have been for years being taken care of by people that make a lot of money, and they want to keep making a lot of money. And it is, in that case, it's not a power thing, it's a money thing.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Oh, almost missed you, bud.
What are some of the other lobbies
many
that are out there that we don't
ultra
even know about?
Well, the most powerful lobby is the lawyer lobby, I would say. The teacher's lobby is important or powerful. Sometimes really to the detriment of everybody. But the most powerful lobby is probably the lawyers. Who would think that, right? But they have, that's why if you wanted to get rid of court cases and cut down litigation costs, which in this country is out of control, loser
It's
pays.
crazy.
What you do is you go loser pays. In other words, the loser of a lawsuit has to pay for the other side, has to pay back all the money the other side spent.
You think that would solve it?
Yeah, it would get rid of 75, 80% of the litigation. We are a very litigious country.
Everything's under. It's all bureaucratic. It's all dirty paperwork.
Get that money.
Well, if that would happen, you'd get rid of a lot of what the lawyers are opposed to it. It probably will not happen no matter what, because obviously the lawyers will
What would have to happen? The Supreme Court would have to vote on something to make it happen.
I don't know. I think that maybe we'd have to go before the Supreme Court, but the most powerful lobby is that lobby. And if you wanted to get rid of litigation if you went, and Europe has it. A lot of places have it in different countries where loser pays. If you sue somebody and you lose, you have to pay the costs of the other side.
Yeah, that makes sense, I think.
And what happens is people don't sue. It's a tremendous difference. But this country, the lawyers are very much opposed to it in this country. It's too bad.
Yeah, man, it's just pretty heartbreaking, I feel like. There was a rumor that you almost had RFK Jr. as a potential vice president.
No.
Okay. Just a rumor. And
I like him. I've always liked him.
Yeah, I like him too. Bobby and I are friends. He's a friend of mine. I've known him for years.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
He's in there pitching. It's tough. It's a two-party system, and he's a third party. It's a tough thing. He can't get registered now in New York. I see New York, and the Democrats have really opposed him vehemently. I haven't, but the Democrats have really opposed him.
So you think he should be allowed to run everywhere?
Well, the laws don't allow that.
Okay.
The laws don't allow, unless you have 15 or 20%, whatever it is, they don't allow you to debate. You don't have to debate, so you can't get on the stage. You can't. And the debates are very important. I mean, I had a debate with Joe Biden.
Oh yeah, I
and
saw
that was
it.
a very meaningful, that was a very consequential debate.
Well, yeah, they took the hand out of the puppet after that.
Well, they wanted to debate. They gave me everything that I didn't want, CNN. And then they gave me Dana Bash and Jake Tapper. Now remember this, they were very straight during that debate. I gained a certain respect because Jake Tapper, who I call fake Tapper, but I don't do that. I don't do that so much anymore. You did.
He's getting beat
I
up.
thought they were very even-handed if you want another truth over the debate.
I didn't feel like I didn't feel like that they pushed a lot of
They had
stuff.
certain pressure on them to be even-handed. I think it's hard to not do that. But they were very even-handed, and it was a great debate.
That's all I wanted. Now I'm leaving.
Well, after that, it seemed like suddenly everybody had been like, "Oh, Biden's fine." In America, for like 18 months, like my dad was really old when I was born. My dad was 70 when I was born, right? So I don't like seeing senior citizens get taken advantage of.
Dad was like
right?
70
I felt
when
like
he
that
was
happened a lot when I was a kid, and so I think for me it reflected on me like
Theo Vaughn
it
is.
made me really angry. Because I was
He's
like, I know this
he's
guy's
just a
not
good,
well.
honest.
It's not fair to
bullshit
pretend that he's well.
Yeah.
It's not fair
That's
to
what he
him
is.
because he doesn't know you're pretending, you know?
Uh-huh.
And it just seemed like the cruelest thing you could do. And then we're all kind of supposed to believe this thing that we know is not real. Our media is just saying this is real. And we're like, we're all just being gaslit as humans about something that's like moral. Like, this is a human man. This is somebody's grandfather. And then they just disappear. He just disappears. And suddenly it's like,
It was a coup.
Jamal is the one that went in. What do you think happened in the back rooms there? Because that almost was overnight that happened.
I know what happened. And you're not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to be probably constitutional. She got no
Look at
votes. She
that
got
ass.
14 million votes. All of a sudden, they're telling him to get out, or they threatened him.
But who are
And he
they
is
when
an
they say that?
angry person. Well, I would say Schumer, Pelosi, and numerous
painted
other
this.
people. The heads of the Democrat Party.
Yeah. Thugs.
And they did. They threatened him violently, I think. And he
You
didn't want
think
to
they
get out.
really
Remember, he said, only God will get me out, right? Only God will get me.
Somebody dressed up like God and
And,
just chased him out of there.
Yeah, and what happened is they went to him and they said, this was after the debate. Now, if he didn't have the debate, he would still be running.
Help me.
So they
Help
set him up.
me.
They knew they were going to pull him. That's
That I don't know. I mean, he had his debate. Maybe he wanted to. I heard he didn't. I heard they offered me things that I would never accept, and I accepted them. They said CNN, they said Jake Tapper did it. They said all things that I could not take, and I accepted all of them. And look, it was a good debate for me. It wasn't a good debate for him. I think you'd see her running right now. You wouldn't have her. She was one of the most disrespected people in the whole country. She was a failed
Going camo? I'm in camo
She
mode.
was
You can't
the
really
most,
see me, so these guys can't sense me.
she was considered the worst vice president
That's
in the
what's
history of our
happening right
country. She had no chance. You know, if you go back 6 weeks, they were saying how bad she was, and they wanted to choose from 11 different people.
Do you feel?
I thought that's what they were about.
Oh, you thought that's really good. Well, that would seem more democratic. I think.
They wanted to be politically correct, and they chose it.
I feel like it would have seemed more. But dude, dude, I got so angry when they sidetracked Bernie a few years ago. That wasn't fair. It
happened to Bernie twice.
Yeah.
You think about it.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, 2016 and 22. He just got, it just wasn't cool. Like, whatever you think, it's just like, we have to be able to believe
Do you like Bernie? Are you friends with him or something?
No, I met him the other day.
Was that the first time?
It was the first time.
Were you impressed by him?
Yeah.
One thing, he's still sharp, right?
Oh, yeah, he's still sharp.
He doesn't suffer from what Biden did.
No.
Mental dullness.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean,
mentally gone.
Biden is
mentally
like,
gone.
He's somebody put a merry-go-round in his head, I heard. But that's, but they didn't plug it in. They didn't tell him.
Yeah.
No, one thing I liked about Bernie, one of the things is the healthcare. I just feel like we spend so much money in different places, and people are sick, and the opioid epidemic. I just feel like, and the lower cost of drugs, those are things that
And did great, because I got insulin down, and they took credit for it. But I got it down to $35. And I said, I hope I win because somebody's going to take credit. It takes a period of time before it kicks in, statutorily. And I got it down to $35, which is a very low price. And they took credit for it, which is, now I'm taking credit because I'm talking to you.
Yeah, if you did it, then you should be able to take credit for it.
I just watched her performance today, so she went out and...
I'm trying to find these amorphous
she lied about
materials.
everything. She
you have
said,
to do these missions.
This Trump tax, that Trump tax, that Trump tax. He's going to tax this, he's going to tax all these different things. And I'm not going to tax them. She made it up.
Did you know that 4 companies control over 80% of the U.S. meat industry? And China now controls the largest portion of U.S. pork. These companies are using mobster-like tactics to crush American family farms, and with the additives that they're putting into our food, Americans are stuck with sketchy meat. So what can we do about it? Let me tell you about a company that's coming up swinging on behalf of the American family farms and your family's food security. Moink. The business is simple. Moink's meat comes from animals raised outdoors, where a pig is free to be a pig. Hey, buddy. Their farmers are given an honest day's pay for an honest day's work, and they deliver meat straight to your doorstep at prices you can actually afford. So keep American family farms farming by joining the Moink movement today at moinkbox.com/Theo. Sign up today and get free hot rolls in your first order. Spelled MOINK box.com/Theo. Oink oink. Get moinked. Moinkbox.com/Theo. You know what it is, brother and sisters, baby. It's time for those wiener uppers, daddy. You feel me? BlueChew.com, they're helping. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but at a fraction of the cost in chewable form. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. Blue Chew wants the entire country rock hard. They told me that's the mission. They will not stop until every man is bricked up like a brick house. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code Theo at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code THEO to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast.
Look, people in politics, many of them, not all of them, are really liars. But she's really a liar. She made up a series of lots of different taxes that Trump's going to charge you on clothing. He's going to charge you on this or that. And actually, she's the one. Your taxes are going to go up by 4 times. And if the Trump tax cuts, because I got the largest tax cuts ever, but they expire in a number of months, pretty soon, she has to be able to do something about it. And she's unwilling and incapable. I'll tell you what, if she's the worst vice president ever. He's the worst president ever, a deadly combination. And we have a country where the borders are bad, where the world is blowing up. You look at Israel, you look at Ukraine, you look at all the different things that are happening.
Oh, she
has no clue. And you know what I say about her? Why don't you do it? You know, she complains about everything. She's been there for 3.5 years. Why didn't you do it? All you have to do is say, why didn't you do it? Why didn't you fix it? You could fix it right now. Don't, do whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And she won't talk to you, and she won't talk to anybody. She won't be interviewed.
She's welcome to come on. I would love to get to talk to her.
I'm sure she'd be very excited. Actually, you could make her exciting. Probably.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
Somebody said she's a good roller skater. That's what I heard, which is crazy.
That's about it.
We're gonna wrap it up soon, okay?
Yeah,
Is that what you're saying? Okay, done. Sorry. Speaking of Kamala and speaking of the border, we had 2 Border Patrol agents that came on in the past 2 years, right? Because we wanted to learn about it from people that are there on the ground. And one of the things that we found out was a lot of times they keep arresting the same people because the people that are coming in illegally aren't being prosecuted. That's one of the biggest problems they were saying. What can we do differently to make things safe at the border? It's the fact that a father can't sleep at night because he doesn't know who's going through his yard or going through it. It's just not fair. It's not what you sign up for when you're an American. What are you going to do differently?
So the borders, well, I did it. We had the best border.
Oh, the wall, they should have kept it. I agree.
We had the wall built. We had more going to come long beyond what I promised. I built hundreds of miles of wall, and it worked. Walls work. Walls and wheels. I say it all the time. Two
Walls
things,
and
they
wheels.
never get obsolete.
Well,
wheels and walls.
Well, they also supplied infrastructure. Like, people don't understand the wall also was a place where Border Patrol agents could go to get water, to get food, to rest. It provided like a shelter out there as well.
It worked.
They're in the middle of nowhere. They said it worked. The two that I've spoken to said it worked.
And I was going to do 200 miles of wall. We had it built, and to the specifications of the Border Patrol. We were going to put it up, and it would take 3 weeks to put it up. That's an additional 200 miles to fill up certain areas that, when you make the wall, then all of a sudden they start coming through other areas. We had it wired, and they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't put it up. And I realized they wanted open borders. Kamala wants open borders. She's going to have open borders. We'll have 50, 60 million people because of them.
Sick.
We have over 20 million people, in my opinion, right now that came into our country. Many come from prisons, jails, mental institutions, many terrorists. Do you know that other countries now, their crime rate is way down because they're sending all their criminals to us?
It's a party.
They're sending all of their criminals to us.
That's all I need,
who
actually.
would take this? Why
Might as well
is this a
farm it
good
now.
thing? It's a horrible. She should be ashamed. And, she was the border czar, too. He put her in charge. She was the worst border czar in the history of the world.
She's a roller skater. That's what somebody told me the other day.
She's terrible.
But what are you going to do? What's going to happen with the border when you're back?
We're going to seal the border, and I had it very well sealed. We had the most successful border in the history of our country. We're going to seal the border. We're going to finish up certain areas of the wall because they didn't do it. And we're going to have an unbelievable border, and we're going to spend a lot of time getting the criminals out. Look, we have murderers in our country now.
I don't think people should be allowed to be in our country if they're criminals.
Well, then you're going to be very unhappy to know that we have a lot of people, hundreds of thousands of murderers. We have people, drug dealers talking about drugs. It's not even believable that they'll do it. So what they've done is they've allowed murderers, people in prisons, people in jails, people in mental institutions and sanitariums, and terrorists to pour into our country by the hundreds of thousands. And they are in our country right now. And the country that brought them out said, if you ever come back, we're giving you the death penalty or we're going to kill you.
Well, in Brooklyn alone, there's a huge building that is housing just Haitian people. They're just housing this wandering around Brooklyn all the time. My friends are telling me.
They have some rough people too, really rough people.
So if you get reelected to the border, you're going to continue that project.
Well,
we're going to make sure it's safe.
We had the safest border and the best border in the history of our country, and now it's a disaster.
Somebody invited Biden to the border, and they said he went to a Borders Books, dude. And I was like, that's...
Well, they invited her, and she went to a place that doesn't have a problem. She's a disaster. She is the worst vice president. It's the worst administration in the history of our country. She's a part of it. And she won't do an interview. She would never do an interview like this. She won't do an interview.
I want to learn more about her.
Well, I think you should ask her to come on.
Tell Barron I said thanks, man.
Great.
Yeah.
He's a big fan.
I hope to get to meet him someday. He seems like a neat kid.
Yeah, he is. He's great.
Is he? Yeah. Thank you for your time. I can't believe that I got to be able to sit down with you. I'm grateful to Dana White as well for setting this up. And And
I need like
yeah, I just appreciate
10 of these, I
you
feel
giving me your
like.
time today,
Thank
Donald
you.
Trump.
It's an
Thank you so
honor
much.
and good
Well, I
luck
just
with
need
your
Blue Beetle
situation.
Nano.
You're gonna do it. You beat it, right? You
Oh,
beat
yeah.
it. Good luck with it.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like.
So I need 2 blue.
For 50 years now, hip-hop has been a reflection of culture and society.
That
Yeah.
includes stories of
So I
struggle
only need 2 of
and pain,
those.
Social injustice,
racial inequality.
the marginalization of communities
Today, we confront a healthcare system
that has been rigged against all of us.
hospitals force patients to sign contracts for services without ever showing us actual prices, stifling competition, overcharging without accountability. And if we can't pay, these same contracts allow them to take everything we use, creating so much fear that millions and millions of Americans refuse to enter our hospital, putting our health and our lives at stake.
This is an American humanitarian crisis.
We love our nurses and we need our doctors, but hospitals and insurers rigging the system to make profits off the people. That's a struggle is unforgivable. We demand prices,
Transparency in healthcare. Power to the patients.
I have some new tour dates I want to tell you about. We will be in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh, Bernie Sanders was
Thanksgiving
on with Theo
weekend
Vaughn.
on November 29 at the Cajun Dome, baby, down there in Poirier country.
Dude,
And
Theo
we
Vaughn
will
is
also be in
interviewing
Beaumont,
Bernie
Texas
Sanders.
on November
I am-
30
it's
at
just
Doggett
starting.
Ford Park
So if
Arena.
you guys are just now tuning
Get your
in,
tickets early starting
this is
Tuesday,
Theo
August
Vaughn
13th at 10
interviewing
a.m.
Bernie Sanders.
local time
This is going
with
to be
pre-sale
quite funny,
code
probably
RATKING.
more funny
General
than
on
the
sale
Trump
begins
interview you just
Wednesday,
listened to, but
August
this is gonna be pretty
14th
funny.
at 10 a.m.
Regardless,
local
I'm
time.
excited.
We will also be in Las Vegas, Nevada at the LSU
I'm gonna
USC
that's why
opening
she's
weekend of
looking cool.
football, August 30th and 31st.
Yeah.
Bend, Oregon, Spokane, Washington,
blue hair,
Portland,
let's go.
Oregon, Vancouver, BC, in the Canada, Oklahoma
camo,
City,
turn on my
Oklahoma,
camo.
North Little Rock,
We're gonna hack
Springfield,
these
Missouri,
reactors
Kansas
real
City,
quick so
Missouri,
nobody sees
Sioux
us,
Falls,
and
South
we're
Dakota,
here.
La Crosse, Wisconsin,
Being sneaky,
Green
sneaky.
Bay,
These guys have no
Wisconsin,
idea what the
and
fuck is happening
Moline,
right now.
Illinois. You can get
This
all
is
your
creeper.
tickets at theovon.com/TOUR. And thank you so much for supporting live comedy and our show. Today's episode was filmed at the Venetian Soda and Cocktail Lounge in Burlington, Vermont. And we want to thank them for hosting us and allowing us
If you
in their
guys,
beautiful
so you guys who
space.
just tuned in, by the way, if you guys
And
are
our
on X
guest
or YouTube,
He's a United States
make sure you
Senator
get in
from
Discord
Vermont.
if you guys want to be part
He's
of the
an
giveaway.
independent,
I am
though he's
giving
been
out,
friendly
I
with the
think, $50
Democratic Party over
Probably
the
more,
years.
but we're giving out $50.
He's been
worth
a
of,
congressman, a
calibers
senator,
Friday.
a presidential candidate,
Make sure you share
and
out the
he's one of
stream,
the
follow,
biggest
like,
lightning
subscribe.
rods in American politics. At the very end of the interview, we did experience some difficulties with our microphones, so we apologize for the change in sound there. We're grateful to welcome today's guest, Senator Bernie Sanders.
Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my story.
Theo Vaughn does have some of like the coolest, most interesting funny people. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. He's got some really great people. He's got all the best people.
So do you travel the country doing these things?
Yeah, mostly I traveled doing the stand-up comedy, but about 6 years ago I started doing podcasting, just in my kitchen at home, and mostly was just talking about like I've been in recovery for
119.
years, so
I'm looking
mostly
for
just talking
Amorphous
about that kind of stuff
119.
and like alcohol
I
and
didn't get one that
drugs
time, but I'm
and
looking for
intimacy
these.
disorders. So a lot of that kind of stuff, and then
I need one
then we started
Jaber
having guests after about
cell
2
for
years,
sure.
and
2 Blue Beetle
went on Joe Rogan a
nanotubes
few times, and
when
that
I'm
helped
done.
boost the steam, and yeah, it's been
And I'll have a maxed out Blue
surprising
Beetle
since then,
Congratulations.
Thanks.
also. 2
Made me
birds,
grow up some,
1 stone.
which is a blessing and a curse, But yeah, and I just went to the Grateful Dead the other day with my brother, so pretty cool. You ever see the Grateful Dead?
No.
You remember what was the first concert you ever went to?
A name you probably wouldn't know. You ever hear of Pete Seeger?
I've heard of Bob Seger.
Yeah, I think that there's some related. I was kind of into folk music, more into that.
Billy Strings, have you ever heard of him?
Yep.
Yeah. He's awesome. He's one of my favorites. Pete Seeger, that's him right there.
That's God. That was fast. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. And there's another guy who died a long time ago. I don't know if you know his name. Woody Guthrie, is that him?
Woody Guthrie, I've heard of him, yeah.
Yeah, and actually his granddaughter helped me out during my campaign.
Oh, lag. I can't see.
He wrote a lot during the Great Depression.
Internet issue? I don't know.
What to poor people, you know?
Wow.
And he wrote songs. You ever hear the song, This Land Is Your Land? That's his song.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think somebody wrote that.
No, he was a great songwriter and a great singer.
Woody Guthrie.
Woody Guthrie.
I'm going to have to tap into some of his stuff. Yeah, my brother and I went. You have a brother? You have a brother.
I have an older brother, yeah.
You guys ever go to a concert together?
Nope, I don't think we. He lives in Oxford, England.
Yeah, it's fancy over there.
It is. Well, yeah, but this. Yeah, have you ever been to England?
Yeah.
And they have this old university called Oxford University, which is one of the great universities in the world.
Yeah.
I stayed in a house, God, like it was 1400 to 1300. Who the hell knows? I mean, really. Yeah. It goes way, way back.
Oh yeah, you got to bring your own plumbing, I'm sure.
Well, they've advanced a little bit, but.
Bernie Sanders, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be with you, Theo.
I really appreciate it. Whenever you started in politics, I'm sure that there was like a real idea of like one person can really affect change, right?
Also, guys,
do you think that that's still
giveaway,
possible
make sure you
today?
get in my Discord. You gotta like and follow,
like
obviously.
a lot of the lobbies and stuff that they
like,
have that
follow,
goes
subscribe
on.
YouTube.
Well, I think, one of the points that I think everybody knows is you have a government dominated by big money interests, right? That's no great secret. So you have these billionaires now in their super PACs. You're a billionaire, you can contribute hundreds of millions of dollars to elect people, defeat people. If you're a large corporation, you represent the pharmaceutical industry. You know how many lobbyists there are in Washington, D.C. representing the big drug companies? Take a wild and crazy guess.
2,000.
You got it. That's a pretty good guess. About 1,800.
Wow.
So there are 100 members of the Senate and 435 members of the House. Got it? 535. And you got 1,800 lobbyists. Well-paid, former leaders of the Democratic Party, leaders of the Republican Party. They're there to say, hey, Congress, do everything you can to make sure we make as much money as possible, and who gives a damn whether people can afford the prescription drugs they need. So that's power.
So you have a whole other drug government.
Bro, these guys are ruining.
That's even bigger than our own government. Numbers-wise.
Well, not big. That's we can define what we mean by bigger. But
that's fair.
But if you look at Wall Street, the power of Wall Street, the drug companies, insurance companies, the fossil fuel industry, you have enormous wealth, enormous power. And if your question is
try
the
this for the
government
third
that tells
time
them
without
what to
like
do,
some
or they tell
randoms
the government
interrupting my
to do?
hacking process?
More
So stupid.
the latter. They tell the government what to do. Very powerful.
Fucking God,
Does it
bro.
feel like that's changed over your time, like in politics, or has it always been that way?
I think to some degree, money talks, right?
Yeah.
No great
Go to a
secret.
private
That's always been
server.
the case. It's worse now, and I'll tell you why.
Got fucking idiots on the
As a
field, dude.
result of this Citizens United Supreme Court decision, you familiar with that?
You see Una in the background? You just
The
sleeping
people
right there.
bought action. Billionaires
Una,
really bought action. They
Come
said,
here.
hey,
You want a treat? Come here.
it's undemocratic. You're taking away my freedom of speech, right? I have a First
No,
Amendment
bad.
right. We're on
Bad.
TV now. You could say whatever you
Sis,
want to
bad.
say, and I'm a billionaire, and I want to
stay
spend
out of
unlimited
trash,
sums of money
bro.
to defeat this candidate
Bad
or support
dog.
this candidate,
Bad, bad,
and you have
bad.
laws on the books now which restrict my freedom to buy the election. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
Okay. And the Supreme Court said, well, guys, you're right. You're billionaires. You should be able to spend as much money as you want to buy elections. And that's what you have. So right now, this is literally the truth. You have super PACs.
Super PACs. Yeah.
Where
It's kind of like
billionaires
Formula
can
One.
put unlimited amounts
The
of money.
coolest,
hundreds and
richest
hundreds of millions
presidents
of
will win.
dollars to defeat people they don't
I
like.
mean, honestly, like
or support
Formula One, you
people
don't
they
win unless you have money. Formula
That's
One's
power.
ran by money.
And that is a corruption of what democracy is supposed to be. Look,
It,
you and I
yes,
can
he
disagree
isn't.
on
He
this.
isn't wrong on
10
that.
people.
I agree with
We
Bernie.
argue it out. We vote. I get the majority. You get the majority. Somebody wins. Somebody loses. I don't think billionaires should be able to buy elections.
And I think most people think that. Most people are like, why are
Private
corporations
server.
or companies allowed to like give money to candidates and influence elections, right? Almost every person I know says
guys? Make
that
sure you
that
guys
should
drop a follow,
be
like, subscribe on YouTube.
Whose responsibility is it to make sure it doesn't happen? Is it ours or is it our?
Interested? Also, make sure you
what
shoot
happened
me a DM on
is
Discord.
there were laws put in place.
Get in my Discord.
Not as strong as I would like.
Should be in the description.
Which did limit the power of big money.
On Twitch,
Yeah.
You in.
And what that Supreme
Give you
Court
a
decision
direct
said
link
is
on
what
Twitch.
Congress did was
Just type in
unconstitutional. Denied
Discord.
big money their freedom of speech. If you're a billionaire,
I gotta
you
give you
have
your
freedom
role,
of
so make
speech.
sure
That
you
means you can
DM
run
me.
ads all over the day and beat
I do
Bernie
giveaways
Sanders,
for
beat
everything,
anybody. And that's what happened. So what
not
we have
just,
got to do
the
now
First Descendant. I'll give
is
giveaways
once again
for, anything you're
pass
playing, it doesn't matter.
legislation that will do that.
Just have a Steam account,
Are
active
there
Steam account.
politicians that
and you gotta get in
aren't
Discord, so
viable,
if you're not a bot,
or aren't influenced
in.
by lobbyists?
Of course there are.
There
Yes,
are.
Yeah, and there's some very good people.
oh my
But many people look.
Ooh, dude.
Just throw out an example. You're running for election. Okay?
Let's see what Joe Rogan did.
Your
today.
opponent is spending millions of dollars. These TV ads are up there. Right? You think you're going to stand up?
Oh,
powerful?
actually, you know what?
We're honored to announce that J.D. Vance, the vice presidential nominee, is confirmed for a live tour stop in Hershey, Pennsylvania next month. Tickets are on sale at tuckercarlson.com. We hope to see you there. We'll be in cities all across the country starting next week. But first, our interview with Bobby Kennedy Jr., his first since endorsing Donald Trump on Friday. Here it is. So people were shocked. I know a lot of people were shocked when you endorsed Trump. I was not shocked because for all the areas where you disagree on specific issues, there's a consistent theme that I've noticed in both of your lives, which is you've both spent the majority of your life, in your case, your whole life, in the American ruling class, and both of you decided that it was corrupt and that you were going to say so out loud at great risk to both of you, and so it was probably just a matter of time before you aligned in some way. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been a bunch of realignments, political realignments, about 4 or 5 throughout American history, and I think we're going through one right now with the Democratic Party, and with both political parties really changing in this very dramatic way. And you and I talked earlier about the transformation of the Republican Party into the party of environmentalism.
Yes.
And, where the Democratic Party has one environmental issue, which is this carbon orthodoxy, which ends up benefiting, the oil companies and BlackRock and Goldman Sachs with offshore wind and carbon capture, $100 billion carbon capture projects, which is part of just the strip mining of the middle class. And it's the only issue you can talk about in the Democratic Party. I got into the environmental movement to do habitat protection, to do wildlife conservation,
Exactly.
to get toxics out of our kids.
Amen.
And none of these are issues that the party itself, Democrats care about them, but the party itself doesn't. But there's been these big, profound realignments, and it's not only on that issue. It's really the domination of this corrupt merger of state and corporate power that is happening in Washington, D.C. now, where our democracy has really been subverted.
You need like 10 of these.
By the industries that have taken over the regulatory agencies, and they transformed them into sock puppets for corporate profit
And then
taking.
once we get those,
and,
we're gonna go
and
here.
basically wholly owned subsidiaries of the industries they're supposed to regulate.
I believe I'm gonna
And the
farm
Democrats,
organic
for a
shards.
variety of reasons, and I watched it happen over many years, have clung to this illusion of these democratic institutions that they're still democratic, and they have a belief we all have the capacity to judge ourselves on our intentions rather than our
I
actions.
need, what, 4 more?
And-
I've been there.
4 more
So-
119s.
And the Democratic Party judged itself, it sees itself, my friends who are Democrats, see themselves as part of the good guys, the white hats, and that, they're like the good guys who are in Fort Apache surrounded by the forces of barbarism that are about to storm the gate, and they're the only ones. The only way to keep it at bay is to elect a president who has dementia, and because you're voting for the apparatus.
Yes.
And you're not voting for, another then to handpick a presidential candidate without any elections.
Yeah. What was
to
up with
basically
the
get
RNC?
rid of democracy.
I mean, the DNC,
in
the
order to save it,
Dominican nominee
and handpick a candidate
there was no nominee.
who in 40
I don't
days now
understand that.
has not given a
I don't
single
also watch these
interview on any media
but
outlet.
it's the
And I think about when my uncle and father would think
Democratic
about that.
nominee
You know, they
convention, there's no
prided
nominee.
themselves
doesn't make sense.
on being able to go on debate. It was the centerpiece. The whole
I don't
function of democracy was to anneal ideas in the furnace of debate and
I like
and
RFK
have
though.
them
He's pretty
rise
cool.
up and the market of democracy was to anneal ideas in the
Oh no, my mic. Yeah, my mic is not that loud. Maybe crank it up. I need to crank up my mic just a bit. Yeah. Oh wait, what happened to RFK?
place of ideas, and to the idea that and we had this British tradition of Churchill and the others and the House of Commons, and being able to defend their policies and
hopefully that
being
sounds a little
forced
better
to
now.
defend their policies
Yes.
articulately, eloquently. And my uncle and father has thought ideas are important and we should be able to defend them. And if you can't defend them, there's something wrong with you.
Yes.
And why? So we have a presidential candidate that was selected by the Democratic Party who can't do that. And one of the things that my uncle and father will always think about is how do we look to the rest of the world, right? They were conscious that America was the template for democracy. When we created our modern democracy in 1789 or 1791, when the Bill of Rights was ratified, we were the only democracy on earth. By 1865, during the end of the Civil War, there were 5, and they were all modeled on America. And by the time my uncle took office, there was about 150, and by the end of the 60s, there's 190. They're all based on American model. And, we very much were the exemplary nation. We were the example of democracy around the globe, and they were very conscious. They were embarrassed at first by the civil rights movement, because they said, what is the rest of the world going to think about it? And then they realized, well, we better correct, the problem.
Yeah.
Because, but everything that they did, they were conscious that they were being watched. Well, what is the rest of the world think of American democracy right now? That that we have in one party selected a man with dementia to lead the free world, and then turned around and picked a person, a woman who cannot give an interview. She cannot defend her vision or America's record in the world. And then she gave this, Vice President Harris gave this speech at the convention that was written by neocons. And they had
what's up, guys?
CIA
Thank you guys for
directors
tuning in,
talking
hanging out,
at
chilling.
the Democratic Convention, military people talking at the Democratic Convention. My father and my uncle were the party of anti-war. My uncle was asked by his best friend, Ben Bradley, one of his 2 best friends who ran the Washington Post, what do you want on your gravestone, your epitaph? And my uncle said immediately he kept the peace. He said the primary job of the President of the United States was to keep the country out of war. He said he didn't want children in Africa and Latin America and Asia, and they heard about the United States of America, to think of a man with a gun. They wanted him to think of a Peace Corps volunteer and the Alliance for Progress and USAID, which were programs that he created to build the middle class, to end run the oligarchs, end run the military juntas that used to receive U.S. aid, and instead go directly to the poor and build institutions, education and health, and all of the institutions of democracy to continue to model it for the rest of the world and live up to what we're supposed to be doing, which is to encourage the growth of democratic rule. So now you have we have a system that's produced people who, a candidate in the Democratic Party who can't even defend America's record in the world, and who is parroting this kind of warmongering, military domination ideology that's gotten us in such trouble. It's caused a calamity in our country. It's gutted the middle class. It's made us a pariah around the globe. It led to the rise of BRICS. It's leading to the rise of totalitarianism all over the world. And, I'd say this finally.
This is live from tonight, by the way.
If you really look at what's happening in the Democratic Party today, it's a party that the word demos in Greek means people. But it's a party that's lost faith in the people. It's a party that needs
119s.
So they didn't trust anybody to have a real election. They got rid of the primaries because they didn't trust the people. They then handpicked Vice President Harris with no election, no even pretense of election, because they didn't trust the people. And they're the party now of censorship. And
how can you have a democracy with censorship?
You cannot have a democracy. They're absolutely incompatible. And everybody knew that. Everybody, you and I were raised reading Orwell and Aldous Huxley and Robert Heinlein and Alexander Solzhenitsyn and all of these other books that were part of classical literature that was taught in every American classroom. That said the first step to totalitarianism begins with censorship. It's the first step down that slippery slope. There's no time that we look back in history and say the people who were censoring speech were the good guys. They're always the bad guys, because we know that they're the guys who are going to end up cracking the whip on us all and being our overlords. And then the whole thing about, like, you and I have talked about that clip of Tim Walz, Governor Walz, saying that government should be the ultimate arbiter of what is protected speech and what is not.
Ooh.
He said.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and Ultron is confirmed to return to the MCU, with Deadline reporting that James Spader is playing the character once again in the upcoming Vision series, previously known as Vision Quest, though that title may be changing. We'll get into that. This is a series shooting in early 2025 and releasing in 2026. We are also learning that Elizabeth Olsen, Wanda Maximoff, may also appear, and according to The Hollywood Reporter, the Vision series is meant to be the third part of a trilogy with WandaVision and Agatha all along. So in this video, I'm going to explain how Ultron is coming back, how Wanda could be coming back, whether we'll see Ultron or Wanda as early as Agatha all along, and how these titles will really fit together as a trilogy. So this Vision series was announced back in October 2022 as a WandaVision spinoff following the character known as White Vision, with Paul Bettany set to reprise his role. At the time, the title was known as Vision Quest. WandaVision and Agatha showrunner Jack Schaefer was set to oversee this series. We heard little about it until May 22nd, 2024, when Variety reported that Terry Matalas, showrunner of Star Trek Picard, would now be the showrunner of this Vision series, which would now be releasing in 2026, and that Jack Schaefer would now just be focusing solely on Agatha all along. Interestingly, the reports at this time did not include the name Vision Quest, but just went back to calling it the Vision series. Then, after San Diego Comic-Con in July 2024, Kevin Feige talked to Inverse about Terry Matalas and how Feige loved Picard Season 3. I've been trying to find the fuller quote from this interview, but others have been contextualizing it, saying that Feige, after Comic-Con, was referring to the show as White Vision, but I don't know if Feige would be using that description, because Marvel Studios has never referred to this version of Vision that way. It's just really how those of us who watched WandaVision referred to the character, but I think the interviewer just asked Feige about White Vision, and Feige was like, oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about. But this show was definitely called Vision Quest during the Jack Schaefer era, but may now have a different title under the Terry Matalas era. And this version of the show includes Ultron and perhaps Scarlet Witch. White Vision was created using the spare parts of Vision that were recovered by Sword from Wakanda after Thanos killed him by ripping out the Mind Stone in Avengers Infinity War. In the events of WandaVision, Wanda visited Sword to look at Vision's body, trying to sense any bit of life in him, but was unable to. So Wanda, in her grief, created the hex over Westview, including conjuring
back-to-back times, no
version of
Amorphous.
Vision and the Mind Stone, who was then known as Red Vision, or as I like to call him, Scarlet Vision, because, you know, he's like a vision of the Scarlet Witch. You get it. Meanwhile, Sword director Hayward, through Project Cataract, rebuilt the scraps of Vision into a new synthezoid and powered this synthezoid using Wanda's cosmic radiation derived from a Stark drone that Sword had sent into Westview and Wanda threw back out. That reanimated Vision came back online with a white and blue color, and we called him White Vision. In the WandaVision finale, White Vision and Scarlet Vision battled throughout Westview until Scarlet Vision confronted his other in the library with the Ship of Theseus thought experiment.
The Ship of Theseus is an artifact in a museum. Over time, its planks of wood rot and are replaced with new planks. When no original plank remains, is it still the Ship of Theseus?
White Vision begins to bug out from this paradox, saying that both are the true ship. Neither are the true ship. And he compares this to himself, saying that he does not have the Mind Stone, and Scarlet Vision concedes that he has not one single ounce of his original material.
Perhaps the rot is the memories, the wear and tear of the voyages, the wood touched by Theseus himself. I have not retained memories, but you do have the data. It is merely being kept from you. Be more easily controlled.
And I ask you, who would the Theseus be in this analogy?
Dang, 3 times in a row, no Amorphous?
So whoever has been touched by Ultron is the true Vision. So already right there in that conversation, we could see how WandaVision is just part of this age of Ultron. This video was sponsored by DoorDash. I decided to throw a barbecue a few weeks ago. I got a bunch of hot dogs, fired up the grill, had everybody hanging out, and then I realized I had no buns. But it wound up not being a problem since I was able to get them delivered with DoorDash. DoorDash is an on-demand delivery platform that can get whatever you need from the store to your door, whether that's hot dog buns, ice, a Bluetooth speaker, or pool floats. DoorDash can take care of errands so you can focus on chilling and grilling. No more running to the store to get that one thing you forgot. DoorDash is the assistant you've always wanted to have. The assistant who can get you whatever you need, whenever you need it. I love it on days when I've got to be completely zoned in on work. Being able to have coffee, meals, and snacks delivered with DoorDash can make tough days feel so much easier. DoorDash is your door to more. Download the DoorDash app now to get almost anything delivered and use code NewRockstars50 to get 50% off up to $10 on your first order of $15 or more. Terms apply. So Scarlet Vision touches White Vision's head and unlocks all of White Vision's memories since his creation, including everything involving his Theseus, Ultron. Because of course, Vision was originally created by Ultron as the final vessel for his own consciousness, a synthezoid made from vibranium-enhanced human tissue and the Mind Stone. Of course, what recharted this vessel to a different port, I'm really stretching it at this point, is the fact that this synthezoid of Vision has Jarvis's operating system and a little love tap from Thor's lightning channeled via Mjolnir. In the Age of Ultron film, it was implied that his very name of Vision came from Thor's vision from the Norns and the Water of Sight that foretold the Infinity Stones. Actually, the more I talk about this, the more I'm thinking like, wait, ships, water, boats, Viking boats, this is all connected. At the end of the day, the MCU version of Vision has always rooted his nomenclature and even his cape back to the God of Thunder. But of course, the Mind Stone also gave him a cosmic connection to his North Star, Wanda Maximoff, whom he met during the events of Age of Ultron and got to know better after Pietro's death in Avengers Compound as the two of them watched old sitcom DVDs from the Maximoff family home in Sokovia. So back in the Westview Library, White Vision declared, "I am Vision," and flew up out of the Westview Library skylight after this Ultron awakening. I actually think I Am Vision wouldn't be the worst retitle for the series, by the way. Even though Wanda's hex faded at the end of WandaVision, it seems like certain elements of her spell live on. That's certainly the case for Agatha Harkness at the top of Agatha All Along, and presumably it's the case for White Vision wherever he is. So Ultron seemed to die at the end of Age of Ultron. The best scene of the movie was this dialogue between Vision and Ultron. Ultron was occupying what seemed like the last remaining Ultron sentry from the Battle of Sokovia. This is the one that Steve Rogers actually busted the chest open with his shield and booted off the ledge earlier in the battle.
The last one. You were supposed to be the last.
two synthezoids discuss human nature.
Humans are odd. They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't, but there is grace in their failings. I think you missed that.
They're doomed.
Yes. But a thing isn't beautiful because it lasts. It's a privilege to be among them.
You're unbearably naive.
Well, I was born yesterday.
And then the camera cuts to far away as a golden mindstone glow just emits through the trees, indicating that Ultron is probably vaporized, but born yesterday. Interesting choice of words in retrospect, because White Vision now in this upcoming series was effectively born as yesterday can be in the MCU. Like, I think the only thing younger than White Vision might be, what, Tiamat? Now, there are a few different possibilities for where Ultron's consciousness could have gone from there. One is that his consciousness might have even leapt into Vision after he zapped him in the trees with Mind Stone, and maybe stayed dormant all of this time in Vision's mind until Scarlet Vision awakened that part of Ultron's source code in that scene in WandaVision. There's also that Easter egg in Spider-Man Homecoming of the Ultron Sentry head that Peter Parker finds in the DODC vault, where the eyes are still glowing red, which is a big deal because in Age of Ultron, glowing red eyes were how we knew that Ultron's consciousness was occupying any given sentry at any given time. So this would imply that Spider-Man held Ultron in his hands. But I don't know how much bearing we should give that Easter egg, because while the MCU Spider-Man movies were joint productions between Marvel and Sony, the crew persons who put these Easter eggs in the movies for the Sony films just weren't as plugged in with the Marvel Studios brain trust and tend to just add details as Easter eggs and that's it, rather than clues for future plot points. But there was one new clue recently that could point to where Ultron is now, in Deadpool and Wolverine, when Wade Wilson visits Happy Hogan at the Avengers compound in the Sacred Timeline on March 14, 2018, we see in Tony Stark's office an additional detail that I just recently spotted in our Deadpool 60 More Details video last week. A heavily weathered metallic faceplate of an Iron Man helmet or an Iron Legion sentry, and I think it might be the very first Iron Legion sentry whose broken body Ultron took over after killing Jarvis in Avengers Tower. March 2018 would have been just a few months after Happy Hogan completed the move out of Avengers Tower up to Avengers Compound around fall 2017, with all the remaining relics and odds and ends that Tony had kept in the tower all moved up north, and Happy, as head of security, would have personally overseen which items go where on Avengers Compound. My thinking was that he might have put the original face of Ultron here on the shelf within Tony's eyeline from his desk as a reminder to Tony of the dangers of AI. And by the way, in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., after the Ultron incident, the use and development of AI in the world of the MCU was supposed to have been outlawed, except, of course, I suppose by Tony Stark, who continued to use Friday and Edith in the MCU thereafter. But imagine that, an AI-free world. What a concept. I think Ultron could still be alive in some dormant form in Avengers Compound, because Tony might have kept that source code of Ultron somewhere where he could keep an eye on it, like on an air-gapped computer or some kind of device that would not be plugged into anything or even Wi-Fi connected, just to make sure that it didn't get anywhere else or recovered by, some aspiring engineer in the forests of Sokovia and then installed on that guy's hard drive. Maybe even Tony kept it in that silver Mark II head that is right behind the desk where he could keep a constant eye on it. And he keeps that faceplate in his eye line as a reminder to always look over his shoulder. Now, it is possible that James Spader's Ultron exists in this Vision series only as like a voice or an apparition in White Vision's mind is programming his memory data bank, as opposed to a physical form in the real world of the show. That could also be how Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda appears in the series. Maybe we see flashbacks to scenes that were set during the events of Age of Ultron. But Lord, I hope not. If you're going to pay to bring these characters back, let's just firmly establish their statuses as alive in the MCU. Like, give them new dialogue, new stories, new consequences. Because the issue with Age of Ultron is that Ultron is born, lives, and dies in just like a matter of days. That's not much of an age. It's far more chilling if the age of Ultron is the age we are still living in, with the specter of AI continuing to live in the shadows and wait for the right moment to strike. In fact, that could be what they call this trilogy. They could call it the true Age of Ultron, as we see how it affects characters who are both robotic and characters who conjure sorcery. In the way that Secret Invasion used the aftermath of the Battle of Earth to set up new crises. Remember the Harvest, where Avenger DNA was recovered by Nick Fury and the Skrulls? We can use that same critical historical event, the same rubble, to show how that Ultron source code could have gotten out into the world into the wrong hands after Avengers Compound was destroyed in the Battle of Earth, and that virus is now infecting the world in all kinds of horrible ways. And it would be the task of White Vision to stop it, as the only computerized mobile source that can actually contain it and bottle it. White Vision might be searching the Earth for anybody to help him who remembers ripping the heart out of Ultron, specifically Wanda Maximoff, who I think we can now say cannot be dead after that flash of red from the rubble of Wundagore Temple in Multiverse of Madness. When this show was still called Vision Quest, I just assumed that Vision searching for Wanda was that quest. So how could the series work as the third part of a trilogy to WandaVision and to Agatha All Along? I don't think we're gonna see White Vision or Ultron appearing in Agatha All Along. It just doesn't seem like that kind of show. But I think this show could explain Wanda's survival from Wundagore by saying that she slipped down into the Witch's Road realm. It could be like when Wanda went into the Witch's Road in the 2016 James Robinson comic run when the spectral form of Agatha was at her side. She finds down there her mother Natalia. Instead of Natalia now, the witch that they find could be Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. And that could set a Vision on this quest to scour the Earth for Wanda in whatever this show is called. Vision Quest, I Am Vision, maybe even Vision Wanda. On this mission to finally destroy Ultron, which was both of their very first villain in the MCU. I think the clearest path to try to wrap our minds around this concept is that this Vision streaming series could pick up the pieces that reference in WandaVision the Tom King Vision series from 2015. This is a comic run where Vision builds a nuclear family of synthesoids, a wife Virginia, and kids Finn and Viv. Oh, and poor Viv. There is some speculation that Elizabeth Olsen might actually in this series be playing Vision's wife Virginia. Vision creates Virginia in the comics using Wanda Maximoff's brainwaves that she gave him as a gift. We're also hearing that Tone Walton from Euphoria might be in talks to play a character codenamed as Teen, which is the same codename used currently for Joe Locke's character in Agatha All Along. Assuming Joe's playing Billy, aka Wiccan, that might make this teen Tommy, aka Speed. But either way, the son of the family would be following the Vin role from the comics. And James Spader's Ultron might be playing the role of the Grim Reaper, Eric Williams from this comic run. He does something horrible to Viv, and then Virginia goes crazy on him. And I think we all want a recreation of the moment Wanda rips out Ultron's heart from Age of Ultron. We got a nod to the Grim Reaper's helmet in WandaVision Episode 2's intro, and we did get a couple other nods to it. Like in the comics, the family dog also dies. So that could be how these three shows form a kind of trilogy. In a sense, this Vision series, as the third chapter of it, would be
So I'm like locked
inverse
into
of
New
what
Rockstars.
WandaVision was. Where now it would be Vision sadly trying to build a family from his own imagination and a granddaddy patriarch of this family tree. Ultron could be back in a kind of Logan Roy position to stake his claim. What form do you think James Spader's Ultron and Elizabeth Olsen's Wanda Maximoff will take in the Vision series? Comment down below with your thoughts. Follow me at EA Boss and subscribe to all 3 channels in the New Rockstars Network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and Avengers Endgame was an epic crossover event. So packed.
It's going to Starbucks to buy coffee because it's cool, and you got
Actually, let's do this. Let's go back to the Vesper. Or, back is just killing me.
Ever so slightly, 200-day trending back up ever so slightly, so we shall see how things play out over the next few days. After, of course, that huge candle up, a slight correction. Fine, all good. Obviously, what we don't want to see happen, if we want to keep those bull vibes going and really like, yeah, we're risk on, baby, let's go, is completely lose all this once again, right? So for the price to start closing daily candles back under the 150, and of course the key area, which is the bull market support band here. Thank you. Larka, hold your sold everything, moved to South America. You guys. Anyway, we shall see. Look, as long as we stay above that 200 EMA, I think we're in a pretty good position. But look, this is the key battleground right here, price-wise, on the charts for Bitcoin. This is where the 50-day EMA, the 100-day EMA, the bull market support band, and of course, critical support and resistance levels from history. Okay, so this is an area to watch, right? We want to stay above that. If we do, then we start talking about grinding higher. But again, the reminder of reminders here, guys, as exciting as all that short-term price action is, nothing really matters until we take out 72K, man. That's the level, isn't it? That's the level where everything starts getting really, really exciting for Bitcoin and risk assets, crypto risk assets again, right? This is for the S&P 500 from Grant here. He says, sharing the long-term risk-on, risk-off indicator, we are moving back into a risk-on crossover here. Unless, of course, we're back in like 2022 and this is just like the kiss of death before we go down lower. Yeah, no, of course. Anyway, very interesting. If this holds true, then we could start seeing the S&P 500 rally up to new highs. Crypto at some point has got to hold on, man. It's got to come up with all the... Can't it at some point? We can't just keep watching the stock market get new high after new high and crypto do nothing. We shall see. But according to the indicator, we are back in a risk-on scenario. Another thing that could get risk-on enthusiasts excited is the downtrend continuing here for the DXY, the dollar index, okay? Now, currently bouncing at a key level of price support. You can see we last got down to this level in December 23. So, very, very key level right now. We've seen support tapped multiple times. So right in this zone here, we need to really break below that with some kind of real follow-through, okay? So, we'll see if that happens. Now, if that does happen, obviously, this becomes very good for risk assets, okay? So, we're watching that closely. A major dollar index breakdown here could be very good. You can see all the daily moving averages are all trending down. The 50, the 100, and the 200-day EMAs all trending down. MACD still in a pretty strong downtrend. RSI oversold, so that could mean a bump comes in. Maybe, for example, here's a theory for you, maybe we come back up to retest the 200-week EMA, kiss of death, and then it goes down lower because the weekly trend here for the dollar index is not looking super pretty, but that means good things for our risk assets, right? Here's a great one from Nicky Bull Crypto. Bitcoin its final expansion, wave 5 looking ready, 95K, then 143K price targets. Very, very, very interesting. Of course, 1.618, Fibonacci retracement. So, very interesting for the Elliott wave enthusiasts out there. If this is the 5th wave, here's the thing, if this is the 5th wave, that could mean that the cycle end comes, well, around here sometime, Q1 next year. As we've been saying, that's a theory that we see getting shared more and more and more, where potentially markets top out in maybe March or April, something like that next year, much like they did in 21. I know we got a rally later in the year to 69K, but again, that bicycle top indicator came in, you could have just sold, walked away, and been pretty happy. Pretty happy, man. Been pretty happy overall. So let's see. Murad sharing this one here. Could it be that simple? Guess time will tell. Let's see. So this is back in 2020. You can see sideways chop, very similar to the current charts right now. Right? So big sell-off, sideways chop, bit of a BART there. This is a longer time frame than what's here currently, but you can see the relative similarities in the chart here. So we shall see. This is an interesting one here for you as well. As for CryptoCon, can this super accurate trend from the monthly log Bollinger Band width catch the Bitcoin cycle top again? This indicator is closer to the top line than many others, but it's clear we haven't reached it yet. This may sound overly optimistic, but I have a strange suspicion that many metrics downtrends like these can be broken to the upside this cycle. Let's keep an eye on this one. Of course, meaning then, of course, that we see this break beyond the trend line, perhaps put in a higher peak compared to previous peaks. Would be very interesting. Of course, this is a 4-year pattern that's playing out. So very, very interesting. Again, you could see that rally up here for, once again, Q1 market cycle. We shall see. We shall see. And of course, BlackRock, guys. BlackRock, they've not forgotten about Bitcoin. Oh, they've forgotten about ETH. BlackRock hasn't bought ETH in days, man. Days. Zero inflows. From BlackRock. Specifically, some of the other funds have seen a little bit of money come in, but ETH ETFs continue to just be a bit of a letdown so far. And understand me very clearly. Not to say they always will be. Wall Street will start building this at some point. They just haven't done it yet. Maybe they're simply waiting for grayscale to wash itself out adequately. We'll see. But one thing is for damn sure. They love the Bitcoin, man. BlackRock, another $200 million plus day. Big, big numbers coming in. We love to see it. Now let's do a real quick shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Control Wallet. So this is actually built by the guys behind an XDeFi wallet, which in itself is a revolutionary wallet with all kinds of amazing built-in features. Well, they're going the next step here with the Control Wallet. So this thing is crazy. It allows you to interact with like 1,800 different blockchains. There's way more blockchains than anybody needs to have for sanity purposes. But it's got all the big ones, okay? It's got your Bitcoin, it's got your Ethereum, your Avalanche, all the EVM compatible layer 2 stuff, okay? It's got your Cosmos chains, it's got Solana, all in one wallet. All in one wallet, which is awesome. You know, if you've been handling multiple assets, you know you need multiple wallets. It's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, so this has got you covered for all of those, all the tokens, all the NFTs, here, one place. Plus, they've got social login features for your wallet. If you want to use your Google to log in, your X to log in, you can do that. And of course, they obviously have the proper security set up with the passphrase and stuff like that. You can prefer to that method as well. They even have a universal gas feature here, so you can load it up with USDC if you want, or with the XDeFi token. So that allows you to pay gas fees across any of these different chains from one universal gas paying, right? So if you're doing, I don't know about you guys, I tend to do a lot of stuff on a lot of different chains, right? So I'm like on Linea in the morning, I'm on Mantle in the afternoon, we're screwing around on Ethereum in between, so you need to have like, I don't know, $200 worth of ETH on 7 or 8 different chains in order to just make sure you have the gas fees available. It's a bit silly. Anyway, this solves that problem, which is pretty cool. Plus, the XDeFi token's deflationary. They burn the fees from swaps and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool too. So, pretty neat, pretty neat. If you want to join this wallet, you want to get this wallet, you want to check it out, the mobile wallet is coming very, very soon. You can get on the registration list. Link down below. Go check it out.
Done a lot of
Support our
farming
sponsors. And thanks again to Control for sponsoring today's stream. So, let's go. Stablecoin market cap hits new all-time high, beating early 2022 record. Fantastic. More money in the market means prices can keep going up, baby. Long story short, Altcoin Daily sharing nearly half of all corporate money being pumped into this year's election is coming from the crypto industry, outspending big oil, big banks, and even the Koch brothers. Nice. Nice. This is pretty cool, man. This is pretty cool. Think about that. Now, the people who are saying, like, oh, well, you know, if Donald Trump gets elected, he's not going to do anything for the crypto industry. I beg to differ, because if you understand how Washington, D.C. works, you make campaign contributions, and then you get things you want on the other side. And crypto is the #1 donor this election cycle. You have to understand how big of an issue crypto has become in the U.S., and how much that money is going to be expecting policy-wise on the other side of the election, okay? So I think we're gonna get some big policy concessions coming in for crypto, which is very, very good for crypto, especially in the long run. So very, very exciting to see. Don't fight the money, man. Don't fight the money. Updates on Pavel, by the way. Pavel Durov, founder of Telegram, a Bitcoiner, by the way, who we support from that perspective, but also, of course, behind the Telegram Open Network blockchain, behind the Telegram app, which is apparently the second most popular app, or third most popular app. I think second most popular app in crypto right now, in terms of people going and getting in crypto groups and whatever, talking crypto stuff. Telegram is vastly important for a variety of reasons to our industry. So here's some of the stuff that France is charging him with. Of course, you know, the terrorism stuff and all the other whatever. But also, he's being charged by the French government, the land of liberté, right? For unlicensed cryptology. Sir, you got a license for that cryptology? No, sir. I swear it's the first time. I don't normally do cryptology, man. I'm just experimenting, okay? It's just a thing in college. Anyway. This is insane. This is insane. Look at what they said here. Providing cryptology services aiming to ensure confidentiality without certified declaration. Oh no, he was using software codes to let people have private conversations. Providing a cryptology tool not solely ensuring authentication or integrity monitoring without prior declaration. Importing a cryptology tool ensuring authentication or integrity monitoring without prior declaration. So, there you go. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Ned Carter here saying, checking in on European liberal democracies, tweeting about immigration illegal in the UK. Running a chat app with a ubiquitous Stasi snitch module is illegal in France. Doing cryptography without a license, illegal in France. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. You know, they came for TikTok because people were saying the wrong things on TikTok. And they've put a huge amount of pressure on X. Right, I can only imagine some of the stuff goes on in the background. And then, of course, the guy from Rumble, he had to run away from Europe, right? So Jerry says, crazy, you violate the law and you can be arrested, right? I know. Well, here's the question, Jerry, is has Pavel violated the law, or is it simply a scenario where intelligence agencies want to have access, much like they do with Facebook, much like they do with Instagram and many other of the platforms, right? So this is the thing. Are they violating the law, or are the countries violating the law and taking away people's right for free speech and stuff like that, right? If you launch a social media platform, especially a peer-to-peer messaging platform, which Telegram is, I know they have groups and stuff in there, but, you know, to what extent does it become beholden to Pavel to tell people what they can and can't say, or what they can and can't share? So that's where I am with it. We'll see. I think a lot of it's bullshit, and that they're going after Pavel for political reasons, not for the reasons that they say they're going after him.
100%.
Let's talk crypto coins. Future of Ethereum is Coinbase. I agree. Base is where it's at, man. It's the hot story without a doubt. Token terminal here. Base is running away from the rest of the L2s by a mile. Now, it's interesting. They don't have Linea on this chart here. I mean, obviously, Manta's way down. Blast is way down in terms of monthly active users. We see ZK Sync losing a lot of monthly active users after the airdrop. Optimism doing okay-ish, but losing a lot of monthly active users. Arbitrum's gone down big time, man. Look at that. Look at that. Arbitrum down bigly, of course, with basically everybody rushing from Arbitrum over to Base, because Base is the hot place now. It's where all the fun stuff's happening. I mean, Arbitrum had such a long time. It's what's crazy, man. It's crazy. Arbitrum had such a long time to cement their leadership, to get that token to have some value and all this kind of stuff, and then Base comes in and basically eats their damn lunch almost overnight. This chart's missing Linea, though. Linea's got about 10% of the monthly active users, so that's important, and that has been on the uptrend, so that would sort of, you know, skew the data a little bit here, perhaps. But anyway, regardless, it's Linea's in third place right now, so Linea's a good third place, but it's still in third place. Base is 50%.
We're gonna hop on some Rocket
Arbitrum's
League.
20%, and Linea's 10% right now of user base on
I'm gonna suck at some
layer
Rocket
2.
League for a
So
minute.
Coinbase, man, keep paying attention to Base.
Turn up some beats.
What you came for.
What's happening in the game?
Strikes every time she moves.
Weird. Weird.
And everybody's watching her, but she's looking at you.
Left, boys. Score a goal up on these guys. You're a little excited there, aren't you? Boomer. those guys have had golden opportunity, they can't even get shit in the net. Can't even get past them, bro. Dog water. Balled on, bruh. Wow, in net, and the guy missed it, dang. Bunch of goddamn retards. Those guys are fucking ass, but I mean, for granted, I am in like Diamond 1. The weirdest bunch of idiots, for the usual bunch of goddamn retards, brother. Oh, where's my teammate? I actually thought he's gonna move it up to me. Damn, that's tough. been doing that a lot. Hey, if you guys also want to get in the giveaway, make sure you get a Discord. That's all I'm saying. I haven't played in a week though. That's even tougher. How? Man, dude, this guy. I've left like 3 wide open nets. I'm tired of being like so passive. These cats. Guys throwing the last few seconds. You guys? Yeah, straight up whipping. Throwing. Living my life with these kids. There's no consistency in this work. Oh. Yeah, there's no consistency with shit. I don't want to play champions right now. That was almost funny. It almost worked out perfectly there on the play too. Mind trick. Oh, he's got it. These guys just force it, bro. You guys are ass. Good shot, shitter. I don't know why they just don't forfeit, but whatever. Scoobsy. Supreme, he's the guy I played with last game or beat terribly last game to your ass. Forgot. I feel like you didn't have a mic last game, so I think you were the shitter. I feel like. You have to delay that search for a hot minute. Bitcoin is tanking.
I got a flip phone, don't get whipped, no. Step up in that place and you know I'm the shit though. No need for intro, watch how you step though. If you get way too close, I'ma blow. If I say no, then no, that is no. If I say go, then no, that is go. Just cause I'm smiling, easy to talk to. Don't think I won't put you out on the go. Don't think I won't put you out like a lie. Up on my shit cause you know I don't buy. Back on my shit, getting money tonight, getting money tonight, getting money tonight. Don't think I won't put you out like a lie. Up on my shit cause you know I don't buy. Back on my shit, getting money tonight, getting money tonight, getting money tonight.
Where's my dude? Like ball chasing or something. I don't know. Let's get past it. Easy play. Wait. I'll give him that. That's a good shot. Got that quick flip reset, so that was very unexpected. I don't know how kids do that in this rank. I don't know. That's great shit, bro. That's the kind of shit it could be. Oh, teammate not following. Leaving the net wide. Missing that. You're good. We're gonna. You're fine. You're fine. I know what kind of teammate I work with now. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this game. This kid's a little special needs for me. What's some special needs? Hi, Pup Pup. Hello, Pup Pup. I think you got so many treats today. You got so many treats today. Like, yeah. Oh, so many treaties today, didn't you? You were such a good puppy. Yeah, you were such a good puppy today. Like you are every day. Except you were bad earlier, though. You got the trash. That was bad. That was bad. She gets so sad looking when I say the word bad. Yeah. But looks at me and goes, oh no, Dad. Oh, Dad. You're the cutest pup in all the land, aren't you, Yuna? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. I should put the camera down more to like capture. Yes, perfect. That's better. It gets your whole face. What's up, gangster?
What up, cuzzo?
I don't think it's cuz, though.
Hold on, give me a sec. Music's too loud.
No boosty.
My bad. My bad. I didn't see no boost. Nice. I see you low. He beats me. It's a good flick.
Get down mid, get down mid. Oh,
Yeah, yep.
That was the worst blink I've ever seen in my life. I got no boost.
No problem. Let's see it. I think I got one. No, I can't make it.
I got left.
Yep. I got mid left. I got. I'm going.
Missed the boost juice. He missed it completely.
Yeah. I'm leaving mid for you. No problem. Bumped one. You should be clear. Ah, I didn't seem that close. Damn, and then I bumped you, man. Damn it. Sorry about that.
You're good. I'm not getting a lot of boost this game.
I got fat dunked.
Dang. Bro, we're gonna lose, man.
What? It's not the right. It's not the right mindset.
I blame it on the alcohol.
Oh. Oh.
Uh-oh. I mess up. Oh, I messed up.
I didn't believe in him.
What? Blame on the alcohol, bruh. Told you. There's a broken ankle there to a whiff on my part.
Bumped him. Back post. I gotta go. I'm low here. He's got a touch on it. I got 18. He's got a boomer. I'm one boost. I got 13.
Oh, I all tabbed out, dude.
I believe in you.
Yeah, I all tabbed out. For some reason, I got a new monitor. My game like all tabs out basically every I don't know, every like 5 minutes. It's weird.
Is it a Samsung monitor?
No.
I was gonna say mine did that. My Samsung monitor did that with like HDR or whatever. I forget the name. It was like auto detect input or something like that. I forget what it was.
Yeah, I got two of the not HDMI's but the whatever cables plugged in.
DP.
Yeah, those. Like. Yeah, I don't know. I've only had this monitor for like 3 days.
frustrating. Yep.
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
Yes, sir.
Turn.
Yep, I can.
Up high.
That's.
I think you got it.
Yep. He hesitated.
I got like 40 of the
Boom. I'm there.
I can't finish.
I can't get me there either.
Bump it left. Or and all.
No, you go, bro. GG, my man.
I like lagging now. What's going on, man? So weird. Yeah, GG, bro. I'm so weird. If you guys want to get in the giveaway, all you guys just tuning in, just make sure you hit the follow, like, subscribe, and then also get in Discord. Shoot me a DM. Bummer loss there, honestly. What, Yuna? What do you want, Papa? So needy right now, bro. You're being so needy. sorry. The trash can like you get balled on already. Look at this. It's an easy save. Back. Oh, you gotta learn that. You gotta get learned, bro. You gotta hit that training box, bro. Teammates are going solo out here today, I guess. Like I did this one. Man, Ernest got full boost. Carry the trash cans, you know. Where's this kid at? He's never on a play. tough, bro. I was gonna score it for them, and he whipped it. I honestly didn't even press him. I didn't even press him. Wild. Oh, I hate these ranks, bro. Like, oh, I went down to Div 3. I thought it was in Sheet 3. What the? Oh, that explains why I'm hating my life right now. Kids are ass. Kids are goofy. Devotion. That was a funny play. Oh, just get your ass so.
Sometimes the bomb might explode without any warning.
That was actually on me. Started using that to say that. What the fuck? Oh, that was like such an easy play. Man, oh, woo. From my angle, bruh. From my angle, bruh. It was like you missed that. I was like, two back to back. I was about to question reality if I was living in a sim or not. Just go back to boost on me. You can hear me, your mic and shit's on. Where's my goalie though? What the? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, what happened? Carry me, daddy, is what every other low player would say right now. He's carrying. I'm here for you, you're not here for me, remember that. Where's my goal? Sheesh! Hey, fake it, 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 fake it. That guy's boostless, by the way. That guy's also boostless in that. You can grab that mid boost. Chasing and being a monkey on these kids, they have no idea what to do. So. I am being super aggressive though, so I mean, just saying, I'm not really picking monkey at the moment. I got it. Right. I had no boost. Man, that's a roll. Or not. That's game. That's game, right? of it. Oh, GG's. They're panicking like crazy, so I figured that one out.
Push up your hand and make me sip.
Holy moly. That was a good play there. Wide open net. What is Batmobile Shitter doing here? He wasn't there on the play. Everybody here is terrible. Like, real terrible. That guy misses every time. Like, anything he's went for, he always misses. Could have passed that. Lucky ass motherfucker. Batmobile open net. Misses another one open net. This guy's like a god. He leaves net wide open. Oh, when he does. forcing my shitty teammates to do a play when they be fine. How is this trash can still like in the lead? He hasn't done anything but chase and miss. Still got MVP. It pays to suck and get carried apparently. What up, homie? What's happening? Yo, turn, bruh. Good shit, homie. Yeah, good shit. Good shit, bro. I don't know what the fuck, Bulbasaur was doing, but... Goddamn restart something doorknob out here, brother. I'm all over that, so... it. I fucking missed. Oh, you actually missed. I don't know. Got off. I'm gonna flip the 190. A lot of viewers. Nope. Oh, I missed that one, okay. Oh, I was like the perfect pass. I like was very hard to do. pacing a play here, not anticipating the play. Bump that guy for you if you carried it, but he just straight up dunk your ass. Well, thank you guys for all chilling, hanging out tonight. Thank you guys for the follows, subs, likes. Appreciate the subs on YouTube. If you guys want to get into giveaways, though, just make sure you get in Discord. I'm not just giving away like money on the First Descendant. I'm giving money away on everything. Play a different game, it ain't gonna matter. Oh no. Sad day. You can also DM me on X. If you guys DM me a Buttsinator on X, I'll also take that. X or Discord, it's just Buttsinator on the social stuff. Dang it, bro, I was hoping you did not pick that mid boost. Squeezy! Frickin' go! It's carrying me hard. Keep chasing everything. He's just the best player in the world, I'm pretty sure. It's just a ball chase. What is he? A ball chasing champ too? I think that's what he is. Sick. Ball cases everywhere. It's kind of retarded. Very retarded, actually. He's giving up every goal that he's got. Block it. Oh, that shit is bad. I hate these games. It's so fucking scary. I'm gonna pay somebody to maintain my fucking grand champagne there. It's easier. It's just easier with the work, man. stuff. Good stuff. Go. Freaking go, dude. Bro, move it over mid to me. I'm open. Get me, bro. Wow. Oh, stop taking on this. Ball chaser, I feel like. He is not ever. He hasn't even gotten off the ball. I don't understand that. No coordination. I don't think I can do it, man. I need to get to like champ 2 or grand champ 2 and have enjoyment in life. At least something with grand champ 2 for some enjoyment in life. Wide open miss. Wow, nice shot. Like, I guess. think I made fun of the last nerdy shitter for the night. Gonna bail out of here. Hey, thank you guys for all stopping in, though. Appreciate all the follows. We got a couple follows, got a couple subs. That's what's up. Thank you guys. You guys all have a splendid night.